I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, that I'll not get it again. And I'll say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. You do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do. Fortunately for me, in this fight, I have great allies. First of all, within my government. The people who are in the front line of that, all of them are here. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. The Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation. Eminent Ghanaians, responsible Ghanaians, who have gone out of their way to lead this crusade. But from the beginning, they said something which is the reason why you're here today. We cannot win this fight without the support of the traditional authorities of our country. Any serious social mobilization of Ghana, since time immemorial, if you're not involved, it doesn't happen. If you, the chiefs of our country, are not involved, it doesn't happen.
All right, and that is the president speaking back in 2017, indicating that he was ready to put his presidency on the line to ensure that we win the fight against Galamsey. And this was regardless of who may be involved and whether people were going to threaten him to not vote for him again if he should fight this menace. Years down the line, and we're still here talking about Galamsey and, of course, the challenges that we're facing in ensuring that we win this fight. Quickly, let's take a look at another video. Yesterday on Ghana Tonight, we had the executive director of Arocha Ghana speaking to Alfred Okante on the Aisha Huang matter and indicating that, in actual fact, Aisha Huang evading the security system in this country surely shows clearly that we have not been able to fight Galamsey. Take a look.
I really want to leave those security matters to the security experts to speak about it. But we have experienced Aisha Huang, or N1, on many fronts. Exactly.
We don't know.
She was a thorn in our flesh when this issue of Rosewood was really at its peak in the north.
Oh, she was actually flagged in the illegal Rosewood.
She was in all those spaces
so it's not
as
just
well.
Illegal mining
of
gold.
And
Rosewood.
then we also had Helena, which is also connected very much to her. And Helena One also, I'm sure you remember that. Helena One also Rosewood. So for her, we've seen her a lot and heard of her a lot. But you see, the issue with N1 for us is the fact that she represents the lapses that we have within our fights against Galamsey.
All right, and so that's what you've heard, of course, from the executive director of Arocha Ghana. Joining us in the studio this morning is also Nanaya Achimpim Janswa. She's the General Secretary of the CPP. Good morning.
Good morning,
Today I got the middle name.
Yes, you did.
Good to have you in the studios. I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm well. A bit tired, a bit too much traffic all over the place.
I know.
It's terrible.
Well, exactly. It's not raining this morning because usually would blame the rains for the traffic. But yeah, the kids are back in school.
Yes. They are back
so
in
that's
school.
also one of the reasons why.
I don't have that age. So.
Oh, it is well. But let's talk about the president. And of course, at the beginning of his tenure, he had indicated that he was ready to put his presidency on the line to ensure that we are able to win the fight against Galamsey. We launched Operation Vanguard. We had the Interministerial Committee against illegal mining. Eventually, it was dissolved because of some allegations that were made against them. Then we came with Operation Halt. In fact, we've launched a number of interventions just to fight Galamsey. But we're back here talking about it. And in fact, we've gotten to a point where the Ghana Water Company says, if we don't take care in the next few years, we're going to have to import water because our water sources are all contaminated.
Polluted.
Has the president failed? Nana,
Bella,
I'm
are you
starting with
starting
you.
with me?
Yes, I am.
She's here. Start with her.
Well, I'm looking at you, so.
Thank you very much, Bella. Thank you to your crew, the TV3 group, for giving the CPP this opportunity to come and also discuss issues regarding the nation. Say good morning to my CPP comrades and good morning to my beautiful sisters.
Okay.
Beatrice, today you have to behave. Bella, that direct question is a bit unnerving. Has he failed? Has the interventions failed? Was there commitment? That is where I'll start from. Because in the language of man, if you have failure and you have words like difficult, I hear people saying fighting the Galamsey fight is a difficult one. But if you are committed to a cause, it doesn't become difficult. Because you have a lot of commitment, and as you have a lot of commitment, and the government always say that when it comes to the economy and their interventions, they say they have a bird's eye view of whatever is going on. So I believe that in their own space, they also know exactly what is going on. They know the loopholes. They know where to tackle, and I'm surprised they haven't done so. They said it's a big fight, it's a big battle. But who is making sure that this battle is won? Truly, this is not about rhetoric. This is not about speaking English with the best accent. This is about action. This is not about oratory, making promises that are difficult to keep. Sometimes when you speak too much and you are not able to act, it's a very difficult situation. The Galamsey that is happening now is destroying everything. And for me, it's as if the Chinese has a concerted effort to ensure that they destroy our environment. They destroy our forest. They destroy our everything. Because now the Chinese are what? They are growing cocoa. And have you seen this corn food that is put in leaves and wrapped? They are doing, I don't know the English word for it, in Chechira. They are doing in Chechira right now. In China, I saw it yesterday. They are doing in Chechira on CCTV TV. It was there. So it's as if they are here with a purpose to do what? To destroy. The young people who are doing Galamsey, we are saying, oh, they need jobs. Who are buying all the excavators for them to mine the illegal gold? There's also small-scale mining. Why is it that we do not do what? Give adequate licenses to people who are interested, with a cap on the number of people who are going to give the license to mine legally, with conditions of reclamation of the land, with conditions that you don't have to go into a certain area of the parameters that they have given to you.
But you remember that some of these interventions were put in place.
Yes.
In fact, as far back as 2017, there was even a ban on small-scale mining.
Yes.
Eventually, they came back and said, okay, we're going to give licenses to some of them, but would also cap the numbers. So a lot had been done
Sweetheart, you see,
in that direction as well.
You see, I remember those, and there was a lot of noise. But whilst the legal one had been banned, the illegal one was going on in the night. And we had all these military men operation, whatever, all manner of names. But if there is commitment, it can be fought.
Commitment on whose part?
On the part of government or the part of the president.
That did the president fail then? Because he said, I'm putting my presidency on the line. Did we see that come to play in the fight against Galamsey?
You see, let me come to this. That's why I'm saying this is not about rhetoric, this is not about words. He has people he's working with. Do you get me? What the president has to do and he's not doing is to start firing people. Do you understand? He should start firing people. And if he cannot fire, then he should resign. On this call, because you said that you have put your presidency on the line and you are working with people. And if the people have failed, sack them. You see, this presidency that we have here, it is not like we are home. It is not like Father Christmas. It is not like grandfather, mother relationship. It is a responsibility you have taken to rule this nation. You become a custodian of the people. And if something is a menace to us, he doesn't even need to promise. It is automatic that he has to deal with it. Do you understand? So if it is not happening, the people that I always say that, you see, sometimes we have to be nice and a bit lenient on the president, because they have given people responsibilities to work. And if you're giving somebody a responsibility and the buck stops with you, you need to be able to fire people. It is not about friendship. You see, this woman's, what's her name?
Aisha Huang.
N1. For me, the most important thing about it is the security aspect. The Galamsey is still going on even without Aisha. Other people are doing it. There are accusations and allegations of prominent people being involved in Galamsey. Me, I don't speak if I don't have evidence. But these are allegations. The point is that Aisha won. Did she even ever leave this country? Because she said that in the graphic that she entered Ghana in 2022. She has a non-citizen's Ghana card, which is 2019. It doesn't make sense.
Because she was not supposed to be in the country around that time.
So you said she herself, her words. She said she came in I think June or July 2022.
We're not even sure when she came, because the Small Scale Miners Association are saying that, in fact, back in 2018 when she was deported, she came back into the country 6 months later. So she's been in the country since
My
then.
dear, I'm saying that, did she even leave? Where are her deportation papers? How did she enter this nation? Did she leave? They say she came through Togo. Maybe she was at Aflao in the Volta region, commuting between Volta and Ashanti. Who knows? Because how can anybody who has been deported re-enter at the blind side of everybody? Everybody, Bella, the immigration, everybody, the police, especially the immigration. Okay, when she took the card, granted that she left and came back 6 months after, when she took the card, certainly they verify your fingerprints. A renewal of that card, they will verify your fingerprints. So when they did, she came with another name. Yes, you can change your name. You cannot change your DNA. Your DNA can be seen through your fingerprints. Your biodata can be seen through your fingerprints. So when they took her fingerprint sample for the renewal of the card, didn't they know, or didn't it appear that this is Aisha?
Well, they say that the system flagged her as rejected due AFIS, which meant that the biometrics of Russia one possibly matched that of an already existing person. But the disturbing aspect of it is the fact that they said that they gave her the option, because they asked her how come, they have her details already, and she said she's changed her name. So that is why she's coming for a new card. And they gave her the option of either going to bring the affidavit that shows that she really has changed her name, or she can go ahead and get the card and then later bring those documents. She chose the latter and actually got a card issued. So it's very worrying now.
So what name popped up?
Well, if you look at the database that the NIA has given to us, from the beginning, back in 2012 when she entered into a country, she was known as N1. That is the name that she had on her non-citizen identity card as well.
So I'm saying that when she came for 2019, granted she went and came back, and the name popped up. What name popped up?
N1.
N1. And on the 2019 card, it was N1. But it popped up. Wasn't it suspicious? Didn't anybody, certainly to raise some red flags. Why didn't they speak to the police? Why has she changed her name? These questions should be asked before you even issue the card. Because I believe that they said that this card, of which I do not believe in it, is supposed to protect us from miscreants and from criminals. And now one, who is one, has come into the system, acquiring a card, and the card could not fish her out. So then, the system through which we acquired the card couldn't fish her out. So how protected is this system that I'm going to put my whole life connected to this Ghana card in a database that I do not even know where it is kept? But today, they are confronted with a criminal and the database. Me, I'm not an IT person. If I'm wrong, somebody should tell me. The database in my simple mind could not fish her out. Serious questions were not asked. And eventually, at the end of the day, a card was issued to her. Bella, it's scary. And even how did she enter? How many people are hiding in this nation who are criminals, who are terrorists, who are here to destroy that we do not know? Bella, tell me. So if this one could just slip through, stay here. Okay, granted that she came, for me, I believe she was around. Granted that she came 2019. How many years has she been around? And nobody saw her? Why are they arresting her at this moment? After 3 years in hiding? 3 years.
Well, the Ghana Immigration Service says that, in fact, she was in the country 2 weeks before her arrest. The Ashanti Regional Minister says that she only got into the country on the 31st of August, 2022, and she was picked up on 2nd September. They're still investigating. We have no idea
I am saying
what
that
is going on.
For me,
you don't think that she was deported?
One, I don't think they should show us her deportation papers and I'll be convinced. Number two, how can somebody who was out of the country and came in 2022 has a card, apply for a card in 2019 and it was issued? I mean, that alone doesn't make sense to me.
But all this should be an indictment on the president. And I'm asking and saying that because, again, when she was arrested back in 2017, there was a nolle prosequi that was filed against her. And so the Attorney General says, we're not interested, we're discontinuing the case. And we're told that she was deported. We are not even sure. But that's the thing. We had the chance to at least send a signal to the foreigners in the country who are desecrating our lands. We did not take advantage of it. We allowed her to go, and she's back again. And in fact, when she was arrested, we're told that one of the charges leveled against her was mining without a license. Same offense she committed, which is why we said we had deported her. So has he failed?
I said she should resign if his people have failed him.
Okay. If his people have failed him?
Yes, because they have failed him.
Okay. Let me
because he went out there to tell us that she's putting his... I don't understand what he means by putting his presidency on the line.
Okay.
Is he going to resign? Is he going to make sure that some sanctions are preferred against him? What is putting his presidency on the line?
Okay. Larato, should he resign?
Why should the president resign? I mean, good morning to Beatrice and
it is a very difficult time to be a communicator for MPP.
That's
a very difficult
That's your opinion,
time.
And I can begrudge you for that. But why should the president resign? I mean, the question you asked, even from the onset, for me, is a bit misleading.
How so?
When you ask, has the president failed?
In his fight against Galamsey.
Exactly. You, in even opening your the discussion, you mentioned a number of initiatives that have been put in place and have been reviewed and changed. So strategies have changed along the way. I mean, that's for Chinese coming in and making in Chechre or Sobolo or whatever. I think it's a good thing.
It is?
I mean,
they're producing cocoa in their country.
And they are destroying our environment.
Ivory Coast is complaining that their water bodies are being destroyed because of Galamsey.
Yes.
It's affecting the economy.
Ours too.
It's affecting the economy. You're saying it's a good thing?
Bella, if you give me the opportunity, like you gave...
Go ahead. I'm just asking that question based on what you said.
Understand clearly.
Carry on. Build your point.
Where I'm coming from. Okay. Then we can have a
build your point.
Please. Tatakashi brought cocoa from Fernando Po. Malaysia took oil palm from here. It's not a bad thing. It's what you do with it. Are they doing it in the wrong way? We are picking samples and other initiatives from other places. So for me, it's not a bad thing if they are not using it for anything negative. We also have Ghanaians living in other countries. So if Chinese are living here and they are living here with the right documentation and doing the right things, I don't think it's such a problem. But why are we talking about Galamsey this morning? It's because Aisha Huang found herself back into our country after she was deported. A lot of questions have been asked, and every well-meaning Ghanaian should be worried about the fact that she's found herself back into our jurisdiction after all that happened. But what is the issue at hand now? There's been an account for NIA, which raises a lot of questions. There's been an account from immigration, which also raises very pertinent questions. The account from the regional minister raises very pertinent questions. But all these things are from bodies that are involved in it. As we speak, national security has taken over the issue and is committed to investigate this to a logical conclusion. The Attorney General has called for her docket and is committed to prosecuting her for all the crimes that she has committed. I think if we decide that we are going to conjecture, there's nothing wrong in a citizen asking questions, especially about our security. But we also need to be guided about the sensitivity of this issue, because there are lots of questions that are unanswered. And what's the best way of answering the questions? It's through investigation. We live in a nation with rules and regulations. Even when you know for sure someone has committed a crime, they are still given the opportunity to plead whether they are guilty or they are not. And I think that is what we should all be paying attention to. Because if we start asking questions, conjecturing, pinning people, it all compromises the investigation.
But is it not based on information that government institutions have given us, which don't tally? Which is why we're asking these questions, because immigration says she was in the country 2 weeks before she was arrested. The Ashanti regional minister says, per security briefing, because he's the head of the Security Council of the region, he says that she entered the country on the 31st of August. Are you not the people who are making it easy for citizens to conjecture because even your communication doesn't tally?
Can we stay on the point where you said the regional minister got briefing, right? He's the head of RECSEC. He got briefing from his commanders. How did the commander arrive at that information to give briefing to his superior? That is also an issue for investigation. Who is mandated to make sure we are all safe in this country? Do we deny that this Aisha Huang issue is a security issue? If we agree, then let's all pay attention to what the national security is doing and ask the questions. Let us ask for feedback from the national security.
And not the immigration, you're saying?
I don't think we should be, because the national security has taken over. The immigration has given their account. Definitely, someone was at the border point that she left. You can't just pick the person up and just start sanctioning them. They should be given a reason to.
So we shouldn't pay attention to what the PR of the Ghana Immigration Service said? Is that what you're saying?
For me, they've given their account of the issue. NIA has given their account. The issue is now with the national security.
Okay.
They need to do further investigation. So if we're asking any questions, it's the national security. And you know how sensitive this is. It borders on diplomacy, it borders on a lot of things. It is also going to bring a lot of things to the fore. Some of these issues bring out lessons that help with future policy making and future interventions.
How is this possible?
How is
that
what
you're
possible?
saying that the person in charge of security in the Ashanti region, the head of the Security Council, gives us information. Ghana Immigration Service gives us information. NIA gives us information. You're saying that we should not really pay attention to all these ones and wait for the national security? But, why did they speak then in the first place?
If you listen to what I'm saying, you probably understand where
what
I'm
are you
coming
saying?
from.
Because
see,
I don't get you.
Listen. Maybe you are not ready to get me, because if you are listening to me,
that's why I'm asking you for explanation.
NIA has given us information. Their account of issues, and that is limited to her acquisition of the non-citizen card. immigration has given us information that is limited to her entry into the region. The regional minister for Ashanti region has given us their account based on her operations within their jurisdiction.
An entry into the country. He was very specific.
She entered through a border, and the account says she came through neighboring Togo and entered through an approved route.
On the 31st of August.
Is that route in Ashanti region?
On the 31st of August.
Is that route in Ashanti region?
On the 31st.
So that is where we
says.
come back to the issue of trying to sync all these accounts from the various institutions. And who is doing that? Is the national security.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody, no well-meaning Ghanaian will say this is not worrying. It is worrying, especially with all that is happening across our sub-region, across our neighboring countries, with all the threats of terrorism and all that. Any well-meaning Ghanaian should be worried. But in our worrisome state, don't also let us conjecture, raise issues that will compromise us getting to a logical conclusion and making sure that this is dealt with and dealt with well.
Okay.
That is where I am
So we should wait for the national security to put out their information.
I think we should wait for the Attorney General to also start his proceedings and we follow. Nobody is barred from going to the court. We got this information because she was put before a court and it became news. So I think we should all follow up the appropriate way so that we can get this dealt with and dealt with properly.
Was the president really committed in fighting Galamsey and seeing that we bring an end to it?
If you move away from the Aisha Huang Re, like I said, strategies keep changing. Why do strategies keep changing? Because at every point in time, there's a review of the approach, and if it's not working, it's changed. Today, as we speak, the Lands Ministry has a monitoring center that encourages citizens to call in when they see people doing things that affect their life. Because Galamsey, and if you've lived in a mining area before, Galamsey didn't start this way. And there's also a difference between small-scale mining, which is regulated, and Galamsey. How did Galamsey start? Galamsey it started as what they call Anwiase. Years back, what they did was those who had license concessions, when they are done with their mining operations, the residue from their operation, that's where inhabitants or young people in the community go. What were they using? Pickaxes, shovels, basic equipment. But with time, people getting into opportunity, people taking undue advantage. Even when the fight started, you see that you go to certain places, the people have licenses to operate, but they've gone beyond their concession. All of them were called to order. Because the Galamsey fight is government to lead and we citizens also to make sure that we do. Because when the Air Force was giving cover, Navy is being trained, the military, when they go and do an operation and they leave, if people there don't draw the attention of authorities to what is happening there again, they've moved to another side. We live in communities with these people. If we also don't make it our fight, government authorities can do what they do, but that feedback is also important. And I think it will help if you have a conversation with the monitoring center. It's headed by the deputy,
but the allegations that
the deputy minister.
Some of these top officials are also neck deep in Galamsey. And when we go and we conduct a soup, we only go and arrest the people who are working for the big wigs in the Galamsey, sites. And then we say that we are addressing Galamsey. Meanwhile, we are not really addressing it from the root. And we heard from the king of the Ashanti Kingdom. He says that if we divide the people here into three, about 30% of you, we know ourselves, are involved in that Galamsey, thing. And so are we aware of the people who are involved in it, and yet we're not going to them and ensuring that we arrest such people? And we always go and say, okay, we've arrested 1,000 people, we've arrested 200 people, we leave them in jail, and we think that is how we're fighting Galamsey? That is why I'm asking that, is the president committed?
Yeah.
Because we're acting like ostriches now. We know where the problem is, and yet we're not addressing
if
it.
the president is not committed, I don't think we'll be voting funds and giving priority to, even before this current approach was used. There was stakeholder engagements of the key people. Well, I don't think you brought me here this morning to come and be responding to allegations. But if you tell me this morning that Beatrice is engaged here, doing ABCD, the first thing I'll do is, because I'm also a citizen, the first thing I'll do is, okay, I mean the authorities in charge, but if you come and say, Mr. with no name or Mrs. no name is doing something, how does anybody address that?
But we saw a documentary from Anas Aremiyawa Anas. When this whole interministerial committee was set up, there was an Anas Aremiyawa Anas documentary that came up.
Okay.
And in that video, there were some names that were mentioned. There were people who were taped, allegedly involved in this. So it's not as if they are just allegations. And that is what a lot of people have been questioning.
No,
that
they are allegations.
all these
I'm
things came out,
to the question
names
you
have
asked
come
me.
out. Have we even bothered to investigate to ensure that these are the people involved? Let's arrest them. We had Aisha Huang. What did we do about it? We said we're going to deport her. We were not interested in the case anymore. How does that show commitment?
But you see, then you speak about what we are doing now, then you go, so you spoke about the committee that was dissolved, you spoke about Operation Vanguard, you spoke about
But
the
so many
current
things
thing.
have
You get
happened,
it.
which is what
You
I'm
see, if
asking
you
that
start,
we've
then-
had the chance to
you see, if
arrest
you start-
people that were directly involved, that were in charge of some of these, issues that we're facing. We didn't do anything about it. So what shows that we're committed?
From the accounts that the Deputy Minister, the Minister for Lands and the Defense Minister gave, people were arrested.
Which people?
When you go to a concession, right, today, if there's an alert that there's an operation going on a certain concession, people are mining illegally, maybe on Pra or Ayensu or Fin or something, and the team goes there, who will they arrest?
The boys who are working on the ground. But what about the people who are in charge? I mean, these changfangs and excavators that we
Don't
see,
forget- no, you
they have
see-
chassis numbers.
listen,
they are imported into the country. So we can
Bella,
easly check and
Let's go,
verify
you see,
who is behind
Bella,
this.
You see,
what
you
have we
lead-
done about
listen,
that?
Let's deal with it. It's the way we've been dealing with some of these things that makes it difficult to get to the root of it. If the team goes to a concession that is going beyond its area, has a license, but it's easy to trace the owner of the concession. But if it's an illegal, if it's galamsey, and they go there and they arrest the boys, how do you trace who owns that operation?
You cannot trace it.
How do you trace
So
it?
our
They are not
security,
licensed.
our security
It
intelligence is not
becomes-
top-notch
it
then,
Listen,
because they should
it
be able to.
No. You see, the police can go and arrest. Then it becomes the word of the boys as against the word of whoever they are naming.
But that's why we have security agents.
Yes, you have security agents, but the moment
They are
you
trained
no,
with a
the
certain
moment-
level of intelligence
listen,
that goes
you see,
beyond
that is why
the regular
that
eye
is
and
why
mind.
you- Yes, that is why you pick people, arraign them before court, and they are released. But if you take someone with a license, you get it. Until you get the person in the act, or you get hardcore evidence, just mentioning names in the documentary, how do you get that person to be charged in court?
But if
Beatrice is a lawyer. She can educate
Land
me.
on this for me.
You
I'll
see,
bring Beatrice
you
in.
have, you have a license. You are registered. You registered the company. When we go today, they are directors. So when you are going to arraign them before court, these are directors of concession A, B, C, D. They've gone beyond. They've polluted or they've polluted. It's easy to charge them because they own that company. But someone is doing galamsey. You go for a swoop. You get the boys. Then they say, it's for me. You haven't seen me near that place. You haven't caught me doing that. You haven't seen me interacting with those. How are you going to get me charged?
By investigating. But let's bring Beatrice in. Okay.
Investigating and getting what?
Okay.
Because it's not legal.
Let Beatrice come in so she can explain.
It's a whole thing. So if we don't start doing it and helping
Well, we're asking
them,
for
then
your
we're
legal
helping.
explanation on
Yes,
some
we
of these
educate
matters.
them.
But
I should come to the office.
we should come and pay.
You see why we are where we are.
No, but Beatrice, I mean, if
Give
you
me education now so we all help
if you
in
listen to
aiding the fight. I should come to the office so you
Lerato,
charge me.
then that means that we
Okay.
might never be able to really charge the people who are behind this, because clearly our investigations are limited to an extent.
Good morning to you,
Just a fact.
and good morning to our viewers. Nana, I know you said it on a lighter note. I will not behave. You know, I'm a very courteous lawyer.
on a
I
lighter
just,
note, yeah.
I just speak truth to power, and
This is not.
I will continue saying that.
Don't take this one to heart, my dear.
You know, listening to government spokespersons on this Galamsey issue, it just reminds me of the paradoxes of Ali Mazrui, that perhaps Africa possesses extreme natural wealth, but its people are poor. And they are poor because of rhetorics from leaders. And yesterday, when Danny told me the topic, I tried to do some reading around it, and I became more disappointed that we together as 30 million people can elect for ourselves a president
16 million.
we as a people, not just the voters, and we would elect for ourselves a president that is so negligent legally and morally.
How so?
Maybe I should give this education. You know, the president owes us a duty of care as a president to make sure that our lives are not worse off than it is. And the president appears to be excited about speeches and rhetorics. And when it comes to work, the president is nowhere to be found. So your question whether or not the president has failed is a big yes, and failed woefully. Because you see, in 2011, when we attained the middle income or lower middle income status, the World Bank estimated that Ghana needed 1.6 billion annually to develop some infrastructure within the lower middle income status. And water was one of the things that they projected, that a lot of people do not have access to water. And so I wonder whether when the president came, he didn't find the report to build on what his predecessor did. Because we have been told by the Director of Natural Resources of the EPA that soon Ghana will have to import water. And I say that when it comes to the area or the achievement of water, the MPP has not been able to do 1% of what John Mahama did. And I'll put Lorato to test, and I can defer some of my time for her to tell us. Because you see, within the 8 years that the NDC was in power, we added 77.2 million gallons of water. So whereas we were not encouraging our party chairman like Ekoewusu in the central region to seize excavators and sell.
Nobody encouraged him to seize and sell.
Oh,
he was asked to seize them and transport.
The moment you don't prosecute, it's as good as saying that I pat you in the back for the corruption that you've engaged in. And whereas we were not engaging our party chairman to go on live TV with gold they have mined from illegal sites, whereas we were not making speeches in the fight of Galamsey like we have seen, we were adding water. So if you would not even add water to the capacity that we have as a nation, the little we have, why destroy it?
You say you added how many gallons?
77.
And the MPP at the moment? Because
they don't have it. They should tell me. I don't know any.
Well,
that
you are
they
the
have.
one comparing.
Yes,
That's what I'm
they don't
asking
have
that.
any. So if they
None
have,
at all.
I
They've
don't
not
know
been
of-
able to
I
add.
don't know of any. Because you see, under us, under the Kpong Water Supply Project, the NDC government added 40 million gallons of water. Then you come to what we call the Accra Tema Atma Water Project. We added 9.2 million. Where I come from, proudly from Nungwa, we embarked on the desalination project and we added 13.2 million gallon water. Now, when you go to these small communities in Sawam, we added 1.7 million gallons of water. The president's hometown, they've never drank water from Ghana Water. It took the NDC to take water to Chebi or Seneso in Kumasi. We took water, the Kumasi supply project of Barricades is 6 million gallons. In Asante Mampong, 1.6 million gallons. So this was the the contribution of the NDC in the water sector. And sometimes, genuinely, I empathize with President John Mahama, and I don't know how he feels, that knowing that he sacrificed so much sleep to do some of these infrastructural projects, he didn't let his family members create companies to get born profits and all that, and see another person erode the gains we've made within the space of 6 years. Sometimes I don't even know how he feels. So if you can simply not match up to what your predecessors have done, do not destroy what we have. Because you see, it's becoming a very worrying thing. And when the current Lands and Natural Minister was appointed, he came with a lot of pap and pageantry in the quest to fight Galamsey. We are here. Now, not even Galamsey alone, but with national security implication. In the area of cocoa, we doubled cocoa production. Today, as we speak, it is projected that 2020 to 2021, cocoa is to decline by 31% production, further by 50%. You don't do this to your people. You don't erode the gains that others have made, because, Bella, genuinely devoid of partisanship, we have a long way to go as a country. And sometimes the irony is that this is a president that likes flying presidential private jets. This is a president that loves the luxuries of life. The ministers go to some of the best hospitals in the world, Mayo Clinic. That is where the finance minister goes for checkup. So when you go to these countries and you see the systems they've put in place for their people, if you go to China and they see the stringent systems they've put for foreigners not to come into their country to destroy what they are building for themselves, and you become abettors of N1 or Aisha Huang, it is most baffling to say the least. And sometimes you wonder whether there is something wrong with the African mind. And that would not be even fair to all, because not everybody is like that. Because I just can't, in my mind or logically, come to why we are where we are. You see, the cock and bull stories we are being told about Aisha Huang is another reason why sometimes I'm tempted to believe that perhaps Aisha Huang is the advisor on mining to President.
Which cock and bull story?
I think he's the advisor on mining or Galamsey.
We cannot say that.
To Dr. Baomi and Anabi.
We cannot say that for a
because
fact.
I can't for the life of me understand where such a foreigner will get the courage that you have been deported. If you check Section 8 of the Immigration Act, you are an illegal migrant when you are deported. Before the deportation comes in, you go through processes, your fingerprints, your biometrics, and things are taken so that you are not able to come into the country. And he had all the guts. She had all the guts, I beg your pardon, to come into the country, renew the Ghana card. And the story about, because she changed the name, we asked her to bring an affidavit and a gazette to show is the weakest link in an already weak argument. What about the date of birth? Because the date of births are not adding up. So what about the date of birth? It appears that members of this government are in bed with Aisha Huang. Otherwise, I do not know where he's getting his courage.
Are they in bed with her, or is she blackmailing them? Because we also heard from a senior journalist who said that there were actually some sex videos, allegedly, involving some top officials, and she was constantly using some of these videos to blackmail them into giving in to her demands.
As for this government and sex videos,
we cannot say for a fact if it's only this government, because we know that Aisha Huang has been in operation long before.
Who else?
So we cannot tell. I haven't seen those videos. I've heard a security expert who says that he has come across some of these videos and they actually exist. So could it be that those are the videos that she's using to blackmail some government officials, which is why she's getting her way in all of this?
She could be using everything, but why must a whole country, we the people of Ghana who have the power, decide that some people will enjoy the pleasures of life, and when they have their videos, our collective safety should be sacrificed for their pleasures? What are we being told? Are we some zombies? Are we slaves in our own countries? It is very sad. You see, this government spent 11.8 million cedis on a certain Galamsey dialogue. To do what? It is as though the Galamsey is even another avenue for corruption. And sometimes I say that if you die under this government for this country, you probably will not die. You would have died, excuse me to say, a foolish death. Where is Major Mahama? Major Mahama sacrificed his life under this Operation Vanguard. Today, his life is wasted because his life that was lost because of a session Aisha Huang and her cronies is just wasted.
His life was lost as a result of Aisha Huang?
He went there to fight Galamsey.
Well, hold on
and
with
the
this.
Galamsey is still ongoing.
Hold on with
Bella,
this.
you give them
Hold
more
on.
than 20
I'm saying
minutes.
hold on.
Okay,
I didn't say I'm not going to let you speak.
I-
We're taking a break. We have to take a break at this point. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Keep it going on social media. The hashtag is TV3Newday. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still the big issue on TV3Newday. This segment is proudly brought to you, of course, by Niche Chocolate and Niche Cocoa Drink. Have you tried it yet? In the studios, I have Beatrice Ananesqua. She's a member of the NDC communications team. Nanaya Chimpim Jantwa is the general secretary of the CPP, and Lerato Musa Saka, is a member of the NPP communications team. You have just 30 seconds to land on your point so that I can go back to... How is that not fair? I'm giving everybody equal time here, so...
So, Bella, to make my final point is to say that this matter has exposed how PR will not help to manage the economy and will not help to sanitize any data and digitalization agenda that the NPP claims to be embarking on. Because I have with me the Chronicle newspaper dated 9th May 2022, where the Chronicle said that the Chinese immigrants are holding Ghana card. The NIA never said anything about it. In fact, we were told that the data integrity of the NIA data was so guaranteed that it was the best thing to have happened. In fact, in this country, the vice president told us that if you had one Ghana card, it was better than having 1,000 interchanges. So I'm sure for now, all resources are going to Ghana card.
They said we misconstrued that statement
So
that
what
was
was the
made
meaning?
by...
If you can
and that
assist me.
we should not look at it in literal terms.
So what is the metaphorical meaning?
Well, I mean, I'll leave Lerato to answer that.
okay.
But of course, we were told that... Oh, no, but I'm saying I'll leave you to answer that because, of course,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
NPP said that we should not take what the vice president said in literal terms.
So I'll be waiting for metaphorical meaning.
That's
But
if she
until
will be
then,
able to,
I would
yeah.
use the literal meaning because I'm allowed to do that.
No, you have taken things in literal
Yes,
meaning.
because in law, the rules of interpretation is that first is the literal meaning. You want some legal education, now I'm giving you one for
I
free.
don't want because I can't pay.
Now for free. The first interpretation is literal meaning. So I'll take that. So one Ghana card is better than 1,000 interchanges. So this is the Ghana card. The Ghana card that you are giving to your Chinese cronies. The Ghana card that we are being told the Chinese who are offenders cannot be punished because of Sino-Hydro deal, which never arrived in the country, which today we don't have the monies. The Ghana card that we are told that will be used in the near future for voting. You are dishing out to your Chinese cronies in the Galamsey sector. How many Ivorians?
We can't say that for a fact that we're dishing it out to the cronies.
Is
If the
Aisha-
Chinese
is Aisha one
is
of the
legally
Chinese?
in the country, but
Is-
that's
no.
Aisha against how many
Is she
legal Chinese residents in
legally
the country? That's one against how
But
many?
she has a Ghana card.
That's what I'm saying. That's one against how many
I
legal
have
Chinese
told
residents
you,
in
I
this
have read to
country.
you a report where by the Chronicle where the NIA never came out to debunk. But if NIA can issue a card to someone who claims to have changed the name and the date of birth, and to someone who has been deported, what else can they do? Can you imagine what else they can do? We have a crisis on our hands. And now we implore the government to stop the PR because for 6 years, you keep investing more in PR than substantive work, and we are nowhere. Today, we've been exposed. This is a government that says that they are fighting terrorism. So say something, see something. We see N1 and we say, and then you say, oh no, wait for national security report. We see party officials, your National Women's Commissioner, her excavators were seized. Do you need any other evidence to know that people are actually engaged when at your FEC and NEC meetings, the Galamsey queens are sitting in that meeting? What are we being told?
Okay.
Are we children?
Land on this for me, please.
The remedy for the Galamsey It's not this Operation Vanguard where we take drones, we take the media men to follow us, we inform the people who are the illegal miners that today we are coming on operation.
You are aware that they were
yes,
informed. You
yes.
have evidence to show that they were
them.
informed.
Then they leave. You go and take.
Where's your
picture.
evidence to back the statements?
The
then?
Galamsey has a multifaceted issue. There are cultural underlining, there are economic reasons, there are social reasons, and of course, there are political reasons why people are engaging in Galamsey. So for you to solve this issue, you need to embark on a policy drive that will target environmental rehabilitation, community integration and development. You just don't take locals that they have engaged in some very minute mining that may not even affect the water bodies. Leave the big companies, convict your own people and imprison them. Let's go off foreigners and tell us that you are doing Operation Vanguard, putting the lives of our innocent soldiers at risk, only for you to say that people have your sex videos and so you can't punish them. This is a joke. For me, we have to go beyond this.
Nana, I do agree. I mean, I remember that when Operation Vanguard was launched, even though, of course, it was discontinued, we were told that the Joint Task Force, they were supposed to stay in some of these areas where Galamsey was taking place until our river bodies were brought back to normal. And, of course, until we were sure that we had planted trees in these areas and we had brought it back to its original state. Unfortunately, we're not able to, achieve that. We had to bring about another intervention, halt 1, 2, there was phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, all of that. Should we start re-looking at how we address the issue of Galamsey and maybe come up with different interventions?
Of course, Bella, we have to, because if all when you have an intervention and it keeps failing, it means you are not doing something right. Every intervention that you have failed, it means you are not doing something right. So the government should really sit down, even with citizens, involve the chiefs, the community, everybody, and let us put a proper strategy in place. Bella, you see, when excavators come into this country, we don't manufacture excavators. Even if we manufacture, somebody will buy it. When it is bought, it will be registered in a name. So once these excavators are seized, it has a chassis number, everything. They should find out who owns this excavator. You see, in America especially, the observer of a crime is also complicit. Just observing the crime. You are complicit. So the person renting granted they are rented excavator. The person renting the excavator to the miner, the illegal miner, should be arrested. And that should be the first point. Because once that person is arrested, then we will know who rented it. I mean, for a moment, I said, why are they burning the excavators? Is it hiding evidence? Because you need to find out who this excavator belongs to. You can do that. Who cleared it from the port?
Yeah. President said that if you had a problem with the burning of excavators, you should go to court and seek redress.
I am saying that, how do I go to court to seek redress over? It doesn't belong to me.
Well, if you don't agree with the burning.
Because, my dear, that is a source of evidence. A major source of evidence that we have overlooked. Because the owner of that excavator is part of the process.
Even if he was not aware of exactly what the excavator was going to be used for.
So,
or maybe they gave him a different explanation as to why they were renting the excavator.
You see, it does not matter. When my sister was speaking, she said that the people who do the Galamsey are illegal, so you cannot locate them. It does not matter what it was going to be used for. I rent a bottle of water. My name is there. So use that chain to start investigating. And the national security of this country is good enough to get to the bottom of it. So this excavator was rented on ABCD day. For ABCD. Okay. Who did it? Who was the person? Even if it's not the same person who is the illegal miner, that person who rented it is connected So you don't, because you see the young boys who are mining, they don't even know the main person. Like these young ones we arrest for armed robbery, the people behind the scenes, they don't even know them. There's always a middleman dealing with them. So the excavator, the owner of the excavator is a source that if you truly want to stop Galamsey, we can do it.
Okay.
My dear, there's nothing that is difficult.
Would jailing Aisha Huang in this case, if she's found guilty, send a strong signal? Because there are concerns about the relationship that we have with China. In fact, there are others who are saying that this could be an economic warfare where Aisha Huang could be, working for her state. Because, again, they're trying to grow cocoa and sell in their country. And we are the second largest producers of cocoa in the world. And so if they find a way to desecrate our river bodies and destroy our farmlands, then they gain an advantage over that.
Of course.
Would they sit down, if that is really true, would they sit down and allow that their national, who may be working for them, would be jailed in this country?
Is this country for them? Why wouldn't they sit down?
We go to them for loans.
We should stop.
In fact, our hands are in their mouth.
Sweetheart, you see, the point is that I was telling somebody yesterday that those countries outside there, they have nothing. Africa is the continent looking after the world because we have all the resources. If we are serious, we don't need China, we don't need anybody. Because the gold that they are carrying from here to wherever, they go process it and bring it back to us to buy. They take our cocoa, turn it into something, chocolate, whatever, they bring it back to us. They take our resources, process it. Why can't we do it ourselves? If we are able to do things properly, if we are able to think right and think about Ghana, but that's if we are in government, you don't amass wealth like the Kwame Nkrumah did, like the CPP did. We will not be where we are. Why should we be afraid of China? Why should we be afraid of any country? When we have all the resources that needs to be able to make us go on. It is so sad and pathetic that we even borrow money from IMF. Bella, we have everything. We have everything that it takes to be what we are, to be comfortable, to be happy, to be rich. But what is happening now? We don't need them.
Let Lerato come in, and of course.
Bella, you see, anytime I meet Beatrice, I tell her, sometimes when she wants to talk about certain things, she needs to check from operatives of the former administration and be sure she's on the right path, because it seems she doesn't really know what happened during 2009 to 2016. In 2013, they set up a committee, high-profile committee. They had the executive powers to arrest, prosecute, deport, revoke licenses. What happened? They failed woefully. But that's not the discussion. She's talking about water. Just recently, the Ghana Water, led by the MD, met the press. And you should read the speech and go and check the wonderful things that are happening at Ghana Water.
Do you have the statistics for us?
I'll send it to you.
Because she has put out the statistics, so I was hoping that
the
you could.
The water volume they sold went up, as of today, has gone up 28%. These are that she's talking about. These cells capacity.
Generating the water. Adding water, not selling water.
Adding water is how well you maintain your systems.
Okay.
How well you maintain the water bodies. Added on boreholes. They have borehole. Even with the water production, they've expanded. You should go and talk to them.
But you don't have the statistics.
Diesel is costing us 2.2 million a month. They're supposed to be producing 60,000 cubic meters. They're producing only 45,000. You'll be talking about some of those things because you are not a good example that we want to be referring to.
Can we trust your government? Final question before we go. Can we trust your government to see through this case to the end and ensure that if Aisha Huang is found guilty, she would end up in jail and we won't get any cock and bull story about why she has to be deported?
It's interesting how you and Beatrice keep saying cock and bull story. The national security has taken over.
We are not
this
saying it
issue.
together. I'm asking as an independent person, so please do not pair me with anybody.
The national security has taken up investigations into these things. The Attorney General has committed to prosecuting this and prosecuting her for all the crimes she has committed.
Okay.
And I think we should all pay attention to it and make sure we deal with this and deal with this logically.
All right. Let's deal with this and deal with this logically. Let's hope that we don't start hearing of other developments regarding this Aisha Huang case. But I don't think we're at the bottom of this yet. And of course, let's wait for the national security to burrow into this issue particularly and bring out the full details. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us this morning. Beatrice Annan, Esquire.
I wasn't giving a concluding remark.
No, you were given that when we came back from the break. So that was enough time for everybody. Beatrice Annan Esquire is a member of the NDC communications team. Lerato Musasaka, a member of the NPP communications team. And Nanaya Achimpim Jantwa, General Secretary of the CPP. Let's take some comments quickly and then we can wrap up on this. So first comment coming up. The fight against Galamsey is just a political rhetoric and a complete deception. This is a government that has lost focus in almost all sectors of the economy. And for that matter, failure in fight against Galamsey cannot be a surprise to Ghanaians. The very people who claim to be fighting Galamsey are the very people engaged in it. It's a very attractive and lucrative business to the party in government because we're told the party needs money. From Abubakar, we need it. From Bolgatanga. Okay. Good morning, Bella. I have been in China, USA, etc. And I tell you what, no foreigner dares to even think of returning back to these countries after deportation. Top officials are just cruel to the development of Ghana. If not, then how does a 38-year-old Chinese hold Ghana to a standstill like this? Come on, we'll always start shaking when we see foreigners. That's Isaac from Texas. The question is, can an ordinary Ghanaian enter China illegally and engage in illegal mining? They kill our soil and enrich themselves and give us the same money they extorted from us as loans. Our leaders should wake up. God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. Fight at Tawfiq from Kaswa 94. Okay. Good morning, Bella. With regards to the Galamsey issue in the country, it's due to lack of commitment on the side of government to fight it. Because all the Galamsey sites in Ghana are financed by the well-to-do people greedily, and they are traceable if the government is committed to fight it. Karim from Takrade. I think that's the last message this morning. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. And this segment has been proudly brought to you by Nish Chocolate and Nish Cocoa Drink. Later, we have FBS joining us for Throwback Thursday. We're going to be dancing a bit in the studios. And so if you love them, stay with us, of course. This is TV3 New Day. We'll be right back.